18 September 1863, along the Chickamauga. Braxton Bragg has decided that he wants to push this issue as hard as he possibly can on the 18th and get the Union forces in a disheveled state. So he's calling in for reinforcements. You want to know what his reinforcements are? Changing these freaking dice, because I'm so tired of rolling ones and receiving no orders for commanders that it's not funny. Hermann broke out, or Liddell broke out when there was almost no Union troops sitting here, and he has rolled, let's see, we're on the 1500 turn now, getting ready to start, so 11, 12, 1, and 2. On the 1100 turn he moved, he has rolled a 1 and 3 straight turns, and even when I got that Bragg special thing or whatever, there's a card or something you roll, I choose him and roll a stinking 1 and he gets no orders. But you know what? Old Rosie, he ain't done much better because he has had the same misfortune with his stuff. Where he, not as many, but he's rolled a 1. Now, the one thing he has got right is he's got Steelman. Oh, by the way, Granger is dead. He died on this last turn. He was a casualty. So he's out and his replacement is in. And I noticed that his replacement card is really no different than his card is, okay, in the core activation. So, but he's out. I guess whatever he had for breakfast that morning down here with old Rosie didn't set well with him and it killed him. I'm sure that's what it was. So, all right. So, like I say, we've played 1100, 1200, 1 p.m., 2 p.m., and we're starting 3 p.m. Let's see how this has been going. So the Rebs did initially get across the creek here, and they're still across, all right? And they were able to get some couple of powerhouse units up, and well, we'll call them powerhouse just because of their strength point numbers. This artillery has just raised hell with these units over here, and these guys have tried to return the favor, but this guy broke through on an assault here, and he's still sitting there. I got to take that marker off. It's a new turn. He's still sitting there, but the Confederates are they're taking a little bit of a hits beating, as Kev called it in his last video. The shooty bits are working on them. But I'm going to change the priority on these guys here because I'm going to try to get that division there, get them on the go, get them up here since Liddell just doesn't want to do anything. And poor Steelman, he has got his division split into 3 different places. So I'm going to call him the potential hero so far of the 18th because he's got units down here. He's got units right here, and he's got those guys, which are some pretty high-strength regiments or demi-brigades sitting up there that's keeping Forrest at bay on that bridge. They need to try to blow it. They didn't get a chance last turn, but they're going to get a chance this turn. All right, where are we making progression as the Rebs? Right here. And now we got Hood coming on. Johnson's across. Hood is on the move, and here comes some more Forrest's boys. Now, here, interesting little tidbit here. I think it goes through, it's either on the 9th, it ends on the 19th or 20th. I've looked at the orders. But whenever Forrest activates, he can activate, there's like 1 of 4 or 5 divisions that he can also activate, or brigade. Divisions? Yeah, divisions he can activate. Johnson happens to be one of them. So Johnson is, fortunately, he's getting some good activations. He got across there. 1 unit got crushed by that artillery sitting there, and the Minty's cavalry sitting there. Wilder's doing his job up the best he can. This guy did get chased off, but now they're across. So the focal point may need to shift, at least up on this northern map. We're going to try to push troops across. Unfortunately, Hood's 1st Brigade right there that came out, which I guess is Vanderlaw, Johnson's part of Hood too, but Evander Law, he received a no orders. Amazing. Look at all the no orders stuff on some of these cards. Preston, Law, who they're just coming on. Heinman's got 2. You've got Martin's got 1. Liddell's got 1. And like I say, I've rolled 1 so many stinking times for Liddell, it's not funny. Or even Heinman for that matter. So, all right, on the other side, on the south map, we're starting to get reinforcements coming in with Stewart's coming in. And these are all from Buckner's division, all right, or Buckner's Corps. But Stewart's coming in, Preston's coming in, and they're going to get a mass of those guys. I got to get them moving. I have to check my priorities. Probably have to put, I need to make sure that Preston's in the 1st slot, okay. The Union don't get any reinforcements till 7 p.m., so they got to fight with what they got. So We may have to make an adjustment. I'm trying to move some of Wilder's guys up here with those repeaters. Try to move them up here along with one brigade from Steedman's division. I said Steelman, sorry, my apologies. But look, it is so fun to have games that you got to have confusion. All right. And the confusion is these activation cards, these core activations. All right. And the CIC. Rosecrans has a pretty decent CIC card. Bragg, well, he's not the best of leaders, apparently. But Rosecrans has a pretty good one. One, Wilder can activate with any order, but then Rosecrans has the possibility of activating one brigade or one division. You still got to roll on the division card over there to see what action they're going to take. And like I say, he's had a couple that have failed. But that's a pretty good CIC card for Rosecrans, giving him the ability to potentially activate an entire division and he automatically gets to activate all of Wilder's units, okay? Hopefully Rosecrans doesn't get shot down or nothing happens to him. Thomas not on the map yet. Eventually he will be. But the Union's holding pretty good down here. But like I say, those cards are just killer, man. But you know what? Other than cavalry running, screens or cavalry running raids or AP Hill's Light Division moving real fast, i.e. Harper's Ferry to Sharpsburg, you're not going to get all that. Oh, this is not Panzer divisions breaking a hole in a line and racing through 40 miles. All right? It's just not going to. It's slow. It's grinding. And then you throw in the woods, the terrain, the ditches, Chickamauga itself. It's going to slow it down even more. So it's a slog. The Civil War battles are a slog. Now Confederates, they get reinforcements at 4 and 5, and then on the evening turn. Okay, which we probably won't take too much. We'll get there because the fighting I need to focus and probably going to provide the focus up here. But like I say, the Yanks don't get anything until 7 p.m. and I think it's the remaining pieces of Wilder's unit. I got to take a better look at that. But I'd have to say so far they're doing okay. There's no heat applied yet in the middle area there. But if one of these sides or flanks should go, then they may have to modify where they're set up. Plus, you still got, like I say, 5 or 6 turns left before we hit dusk in the night turns. Start thinking about bivouac. Got a whole brigade down here that I just need to sit on those crossings for the time being. I'm going to put those guys when next time they activate, they're going into Hasty Works. So, and I hate to have that 9 strength unit sitting here. Nothing says I have to, but, you want to keep your brigades, the demi regiments or whatever, these units of the demi brigade, you kind of want to keep them tied into each other. And I got to thinking about, man, these shaken markers, they sit on these counters forever and ever and ever. I said, that just don't seem right. There's got to be at the end of a turn where they can take them off. I thought to myself, no. You're not tracking casualties in this game like you do in like Great Battles of the American Civil War or Line of Battle. Those are your casualties, all right? Maybe when they get removed, you've replaced some of those casualties. You've caught some of those guys that are skedaddling away from the fight and got them back into the unit. So that thought is now out of my mind. Those shaken markers make perfect sense. The depletion status all makes perfect sense. Not a whole lot going on the crush track. The Rebs got one broken. The Yanks got one completely eliminated or crushed or whatever. And of course, Granger, I said Granger's dead and his replacement is taken over. But like I said, Granger, but he doesn't look any worse than Granger did. So that tells me a lot about Granger, okay? All right, so starting 1500 turn, Chickamauga, 18 September 1863. And we're going to move right along. Blast, playing this game. Probably better to play the 19th if you want to play, we won't call it the full battle because this thing stretched over 3 days. But I think the biggest part of your fighting, I guess, is the 19th, so that may be the one to go. Or even pick up one of the smaller scenarios. I know one of Kev's playing Old McDonald's Farm is actually a pretty stiff fight in there with a lot of units in that small area, so that could be a good tester for you too. And you'd be doing me. I just got to jump in and play these campaigns. How far I get is how far I get. Do the best I can with it. I'm also messing around with some of the new Blind Swords ones I picked up. Gettysburg, I played almost the first turn in that one there. Much more detailed approach to Civil War gaming, like the other stuff that I play, so a little slower move. But there you go. Chickamauga, Rock of Chickamauga, 18 September, 1500 turn, getting ready to start. And let's see if Johnny Reb can make any hay over here. All right, we'll catch up with y'all soon. See you.